afternoon. Thank you for joining us today on Nigeria Now. And today we have so many to dish out, and then we know that you will do well also to put your own part of the story on what we are discussing, or your angle or your view, whichever one you will see it. And then today on the show, I have Joyce Jakada, the dogged lady.
Hey, you sound like I didn't know. Good afternoon, Sambusi.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Always a pleasure doing this.
Yeah, sure. We're here again, and then like always, you know, we normally bring issues that are burning out there, so that we'll come and then give it out to people there, and then raise questions which Nigerians are asking that don't have this platform, and then we try and see how the people that are responsible for answering or responding to questions like that to respond to Nigerians, and said may not really be necessary on this platform but other platform, because we raise so many issues that we see these people, you know, people that are concerned, you know, coming to other platforms, like answering the questions that we raise here, and then trying to clarify the air. And then today we want to look at the issue of politics, but we are going to look at the issue of debate, people traveling from state to state, from one town hall series to another, you know, people going to places of worship to sell their ideas to the electorate, and then some are gathering momentum, and then some are gaining acceptance. Some people are asking questions based on what they say they will do, and then the strategy that they want to employ. Some want to hear from particular people, and then they are not there to talk to them. Certain questions that principal officers are supposed to respond, they are pushing it to some people that you can, or personally I can say, they don't have a portfolio when you come to the issue of campaign, you know, because normally we know that is only the spokesperson, you know, of the candidate or the campaign organization, you know, normally do response to critical issues. But now we see that it's been thrown to like anybody that is close, you know, and the APC candidate was in
Chatham House.
Yes, and then he was trying to tell people what he intended to do. He talked about education. He talked about even the electoral empire itself. It raises concern on the issue of attacks, you know, from the southeast to south-south to even southwest, you know, how their facilities have been attacked. And he talked about the issue of peaceful election. You know, he kicked against violence, and what impressed me is the way he talked about calling his followers, you know, that they should shun anything that will undermine the 2023 election. That is, they should avoid violence. And I was so happy. These are kind of statements that we want to hear from these principal officers. And then also he still talked about how he's going to deal with the Almajiri, you know, how he will restructure. You know, the Almajiri syndrome is mostly in the north. You know, he said he wants to see how he will go about it. He have said his own, and then Nigerians, you know, pick their pen and paper, and then they make note out of it. But some are still asking questions. One, is that the place to go and talk to Nigeria? That's number one. Number two, some certain questions that some are asking, answering on his behalf. Is that the right way to go? So, you know, people are saying that he cannot talk straight for like 3 minutes on its own. So when you begin to see things like this, you begin to ask questions. There is that the reason why he allows some people to answer questions on his behalf, simply because he cannot engage the audience like in a debate or in anything that had to do with him expressing what he's going to do, like for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes straight? So these are questions that Nigeria are asking. I know you follow the the whole interview, the program entirely. I know you have something to say.
Well, one of the primary responsibility of the media is to be the watchdog of the society, and beyond being the fourth estate of the realm, we try to bridge the gap between the people and then the government. That's by connecting the two parties together. And like you said, a lot of questions are in the minds of Nigerians as to what the government are doing, the people that they have elected into strategic positions, what they are doing in order to mitigate against some of the challenges that we are facing as a nation today. We won't stop saying that Nigeria is a blessed nation, Nigeria is a great country, and we can see that in some of our young people, the kind of skills they engage in, and then what they are doing, and they are doing wonderfully well. But one of the challenge is leadership. And that is why every day we don't just talk, but we try to provide solutions to some of the things that are happening. And as we look towards 2023, a lot of things have been happening. You hear different talk, people traveling left, right, center. And like you said, one of the issue is the fact that the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was in London, and then he was in Chatham House, and he was there to speak on how he will tackle insecurity and reposition the economy if elected. And while he was there, he didn't just go alone. He was accompanied by some governors and then members of the Presidential Council of the APC and members of Presidential Campaign Council, and that includes governors, members of National Assembly, and other key parties, stalwarts. And then the governor of Kaduna was there, governor of Kano was with him, the governor of Cross River was with him, and then governor of Ogun, Lagos, Jigawa, Ebonyi, former governor of Ekiti was there, and the former governor of Edo also accompanied him. And we also have Femi Gbajabiamila accompanying him, the woman leader of the APC too accompanied him. Like, it was worrisome for me when I saw the number of governors that accompanied him. I was saying in my mind, I hope they are not neglecting their primary responsibility, leaving their state and then focusing on these campaign issues, because by the time you finish swearing an oath to protect lives and property, to carry out the affairs of your state with every honesty, sincerity, and transparency, and you begin to relegate it and then start focusing on other issues, I think it's going to be a problem. So yesterday we started a conversation about the 3 presidential candidates that were available during the Arise Television Town Hall Presidential Series 3, where questions were being thrown to them and they answer questions that were bordering on education, healthcare, poverty, and even human capital. And the presidential candidate of the PDP, was there talking about Atiku Abubakar. The presidential candidate of NNPP, Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, was there, and that of Labour Party, talking about Peter Obi, was also there, and they did beautifully well with how they responded to the questions of education, how more investment needs to be done. Peter Obi highlighted the fact that the budget allocation in education for the past 60 years is not even up to 10% of our budget. And then he made the comparison with South Africa, that our whole budget for 6 years is not even up to that of South Africa 1 year. Theirs is 14%, and us for the 6 years it is just 10%, and which is poor. He said more investment needs to be done in education. If you want to tackle the issue of poverty, then your concentration must be on education. It must be on SMEs. More investment needs to be done on healthcare, and when you do that, human capital development, then we are going to be reducing poverty. He also talked about the fact that we only have about 2.5 trillion naira investment like in healthcare, like in our budget allocation. That's for the past 6 years, which is also poor, and more needs to be done. If there's need for us to borrow to invest in human capital, not borrowing and then doing things that at the end of the day you cannot even pay back. We saw on the papers this morning that because of naira depreciation, our loan, like our debt, is increasing. So it is important that we do things that at the end of the day is going to be able to pay back our debt, and we're going to meet the needs of Nigerians. So yesterday we talked about the fact that because of the presidential candidate of the APC was not at the town hall series, it was a loss for him. But we still saw how that he appeared in the Chatham House in London to talk about issues bordering on security, economy, and even international policy. And like I said, beautiful rendition. And beyond all those people that accompany him, he talked about the fact that he was going to tackle the issue of insecurity from its roots. He said Nigeria as a nation is faced with radical extremist violence. He talked about the fact that one of the problems is terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, human trafficking, trafficking in weapons, trafficking in drugs, climate change, resource-driven conflict. All these are issues that constitute to the insecurity we've been having. And then he spoke about how that he's going to deal with that. I saw how the governor of Kaduna State responding to the issue of how they are going to tackle insecurity, saying that we have only about 300,000 policemen to the over 200 million Nigerians, and which it's not enough, if you ask me. And then armed forces, about 200,000. When you put it together, about 500,000, which is still not enough for the over 200 million people. So they talked about decentralization and restructuring. And for you to restructure or to decentralize, you must go back to the constitution. Because if you're talking about state police, is it constitutional? If it's not, then whoever becomes the president, for you to talk about state police, you must amend the constitution so that that also can work. But beyond all the things that they were saying, I tell you, Nigerians are taking note. Both like all the presidential candidates, all they were saying. I told you, time have gone where people go for presidential campaign or go for campaign rallies to clap hands and dance. Now people take notes. They record with every instrument they have so that they can use it against you. Beyond security, talk about the fact that power outrage will end. He said regular electricity is going to add up to, is key to economic revitalization and industrial growth. He said that economy to be driven by private sector is going to give them that opportunity. Investment is going to be done on that sector. We quite agree, because this is the issue we've been talking about. If we have some of these key things like electricity, then these SMEs that we are having is going to flourish. So he talked about that. He also talked about restoring of security, which El-Rufai spoke about. He spoke of the health sector as well. And not only him, even the other presidential candidates spoke about investment in health sector, improving the facility, allowing private sector to even thrive. Whatever they need to do, they talk with them, give them the enabling environment so that they will thrive, so that people patronize hospitals in Nigeria instead of losing billions of nairas to health tourism. But like I said, beyond this beautiful manifesto, the current president in 2015 spoke about how he's going to end this medical tourism, but we've not seen him for once patronizing the hospitals in Nigeria. So it is always, at every point, we see him traveling for medical trip and all of that. So as these people say this thing, what is more important is how are you going to achieve all of this? Like, it's always interesting to hear these beautiful manifestos. You start wondering, wow, so these people have all of these ideas. And then these people were one time this and one time that. What happened that you were unable to at least give your own insight, profile some of these solutions? For Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's an APC member. You hear people tell you that he's also a member of APC. So what has he been able to do as a member of the party? If you're saying that, yes, despite effort being done by the current president, issue of insecurity continue to bedevil us, why haven't you profiled some of these solutions? But that is just by the way. I think what is more important is for you to tell Nigerians how you're going to do it. Whoever eventually becomes the president, Nigerians will definitely use this and then to use it against you. Like I said earlier, one of our biggest challenge is the issue of leadership. We have all the beautiful policies, all the ideas, but when it comes to implementation, I tell you, that's where the problem comes to play. So we have seen how they said to tackle the issue of unemployment, they are going to definitely ensure that agriculture will gainfully employ people. Good one. Are we ready to actually give the farmers to enabling environment? Because we've seen how farmers are even unable to go to their farmlands because of the issues of security. They said they are going to decentralize police, How are you going to do it? Like I said, we don't just talk about these issues, we provide solutions. And first, you must go back to the Constitution. And once the Constitution is amended, I think it can be done. Buhari talked about lifting over 100 million people from poverty. He made that promise while as the president, you get. And after making these promises, just yesterday we saw NBC are saying that 133 million Nigerians have been thrown into poverty. That's like 63% of our population. That's totally unacceptable.
It's so sad.
If you ask me. So beyond talking, let's see deliberate steps. Let's see deliberate steps and on how you are going to tackle some of these issues. No doubt we have out of school children, unemployed, we have issue of poverty, we have issue of lack of power supply, we have these economic challenges and all of that. How are you going to bring this to bear? I like the fact that all of them are coming out to say it. Buhari, Tinubu has taken his own campaign to London. Atiku was in Lagos, but I'll allow you to talk.
Well, yeah, from wherever they are talking to Nigerians from, be rest assured that we'll grab them and then we'll bring them back here and then we'll let Nigerians know. You know, yes, he's not the first to be there to say what he wants to do, so it's not an issue. But we just feel when the other contestants are in one place and then they are trying to say it, to say their manifesto, to say their strategy, to say their plan on how they want to tackle some of the key issues that is disturbing Nigeria as a nation. We expect to see you there, you know, like the way you x-ray the town hall series, which Atiku Abubakar Konkoso and then Peter Obi, you know, were attended. We expect to see you there. Are you trying to tell us that these are the three candidates? You see, even them, like you said earlier, is a minus to them, because people will begin to see, okay, maybe the particular party that we are talking about is not serious. Yes, they feel, yes, if you are talking to Nigeria, talk to us from the local angle, you know, the local base. Talk to us from home. Don't go and talk to other people. That's where we get to know what you want to do for us. Well, everything he said he wants to do, yes, they are there. Like, they are facts. We know these are things that are really disturbing Nigerians, and then Nigerians are crying, are yearning that, yes, we need change. We need something to happen in those areas. And then, like you said earlier, it's not just the saying. It's not just the saying. Are they willing? Because even before now, we had them saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then my problem is that they talk like they are opposition. They are talking from an opposition angle, because I don't expect to see APC talking to me as a Nigerian, looking for my vote, talking to me like they are opposition party. Because if you talk about continuity, then we'll ask ourselves, go back to 2015, where were we? Like when you talk about issue of security, when you talk about issue of poverty, the statistic, when you talk about the issue of economy, where are we then as Nigerians, you know? And then you look at now, and then you ask yourself, who are the people governing us? 7 years now, just few months to round it up. And then you have promises that you made to Nigerians during election, that you're going to do this, you're going to stop the issue of insecurity. Now, as we speak, the number of people being killed, being kidnapped, being dislodged is more than the era of Boko Haram. Because we have the issue of banditry, we have the issue of kidnapping, we still have the Boko Haram, we still have ISWAP, name them. We still have the unknown gunmen. We have the issue of headsmen, you know? Since from that, and then I don't expect to be telling me that you are coming to tackle security if you are coming from that party. That's personal. I don't know if I share the same view with someone out there. I just feel you shouldn't be telling me this. You should tell me that this is what you meant when you came as a party, because you have a manifesto, you have an ideology as a party. You are aware of what you want to come and do. When you are canvassing for vote, when you are campaigning, you know exactly. And that's what you sold to us. And you say, this is what you will do. And we trusted you with our vote. But today, what are we seeing? You know, you talk about the issue of poverty. Instead of creating jobs, now we are even multiplying the number of those that are already poor. Like 133 is alarming. And I don't think a government will see such statistics and then the government will be okay. I'm assuring, because like the constitutional right of a Nigerian is for that government to improve your life, to secure you and your property. But what are we seeing today? The statistics is showing. So what we are trying to say is that, yes, Nigerians, you are out there. Listen to them. And then take note, like we always say. Make sure that 2023 is going to be different. Different in the sense that you follow antecedent. Check back then, who are those people? What have they done? In what capacity? Are they people that you can trust them? Because we have good Nigerians, intelligent ones, good leaders. But it's just the problem is that we are being swift, you know, by some that will call, they think they are smart, they think they are cabal, they own the nation, they pocket everybody, and whatever they decide, that's what it will happen.
I've continued to say on this platform that as a nation, we are not cursed. We are not disabled. The only challenge is the fact that we continue to elect people that are unprincipled, people that don't have integrity, people that are irresponsible, because you cannot sleep while you're feeling in your primary responsibility. If you can actually sleep and keep vying for other bigger positions when you are failing in the little that people have trusted you to with, then I think it is a problem. While we are talking about Tinubu showing up in London, in Chatham House, Atiku was in Lagos, and he was in Lagos while he was there for campaign. He was assuring the people that when they elect him into power, he's going to sell some of our refineries. And when he sells that, he's going to channel the money to improving the lives of SMEs, to ensuring that SMEs actually grow up. And he told Lagos people that one family has been actually controlling the fortune of the state, which he told them that they need to wise up by going by deciding to make the change in 2023. I don't know what he meant by that, but he spoke about selling refinery when elected. And you ask yourself the question, is this the first time that we're selling our refineries? Yes, people have continued to say that we've been investing money year in, year out. Our budget allocation, we keep sending humongous amounts of money to some of these refineries. And at the end of the day, they don't even produce single oil. So why would we continue to do that? And if he's saying that, oh, why not he's going to sell it eventually and the money we channel to SME, which is human capital development, then it's going to be a good one. But what is more important, we've been hearing people say some of these things. What is different from the 2015 promises that we've had? How are you going to do it is what we always say. During Obasanjo's time, maybe because he saw how dysfunctional these refineries were, that was why he sold it, more like at the giveaway prices. But during Yar'Adua's regime, they collected back some of these refineries. And up till now, how many of these refineries were able to actually produce anything? And not just these refineries, Sambo Slomo, we have agencies, ministries that you just have people there collecting money and not doing anything at the end of the day. If these sectors are being privatized, will you be going to the office and doing nothing? Of course, no. So I think, like they all said, and like I always say, all their manifestos are indeed beautiful, because these are people, you hear people that want to lead over 200 million people making these presentations. But beyond it, how are you going to do it? For Nigerians, I'll always say that we should look out for people that are principled, people that have integrity, people who have the love of the nation at heart, people who fear God. That's above all. And when we have people like that, and I think the needful is going to be done, because democracy is about good governance. That is just the essence of democracy.
I agree with you. And then we have people joining us on social media. I have Jonah Oni. He said, who is fooling who in Nigeria? Please stop this Pandora talk. And then we have Sele, our own Sele. She said, I feel the way forward to correct this negligence of our public holders is for us to get involved in politics. The brain drain from the health sector is from the health sector is there. The World Bank. Wow, I don't understand what she. I think I'm missing something. You know, the brain drain from the health sector is for us. Yeah, is there, and the World Bank is also trying. It will take us to 300 years to build a world-class infrastructure. We need to fix a lot. There is the food insecurity, and is facing us 2023. And then Dimas Nehemiah say, keep it up. Thank you very much for all your comments. Continue to allow them keep coming. You know, just keep pressing that phone. Let's know how you feel about everything that is happening in Nigeria. And Joyce.
Well, at this point, what I would say, with all the challenges we are being faced with, what we need as a nation is leaders who are proactive, leaders who are pragmatic, not leaders who will keep giving excuses. Nigerians have listened to all these manifestos and they have taken note. And of course, we will definitely hold anybody that becomes president accountable to his words.
Oh, thank you for doing this with me today.
Always a pleasure.
Yes. And for you viewer there, we say thank you so much for staying glued to Ekwa Television. We sincerely appreciate it. And to all of us, all that send your comment, we say thank you very much. Just doing that is always showing us that you are together with us, and we appreciate. And then from all of us, you know, the cameraman and the people in the control room, our editor, Sam, we appreciate you. Thank you, everybody that made this possible today. See you tomorrow, and bye-bye.